I don't know what it's like where you are, but it has been chilly here in North Carolina. But I thought we would have our last hurrah of summer and have a cookout. And I say that because I was going through my stuff and I came across a ton of cookout things. So I said, well, except this is some kind of jewel. I said, well, oh, and a turkey. Apparently we have a turkey in here. What better time to plan a cookout than the end of the summer? And, you know, you get your canning done. Got your watermelon out, all your drinks and games, pies, ice creams, lemonade, and then you all crash out when you're high on drugs later on, right? Just kidding. Calm down. So, we're going to do that. Let me think. How do I want to do this? Let's go here maybe. Or go somewhere in the beginning. I don't want to play with these pages. These are going to be something else. I don't know what, but something. Okay. I guess we'll paint something maybe? Get some paint out. I gotta bring some of my paintbrushes back or I am not gonna have any of my favorite paintbrushes down here. Okay? Alright. I like this color. And it's like almost empty. And this. And this. These are all almost empty, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And oh, I don't want that. Some sunshine yellow. Let's start there. Okay. Maybe we'll sponge instead of brush, maybe? Let me see. So this stencil just kind of like jumped out at me. And I'm just like, you know what? We're going to roll with this stencil. So I have not used this one before. We're going to see how this goes, I guess. Just kind of, there's no wrong way. We're not going to ruin it. Okay. I have to tell myself this because I get nerved up sometimes when I'm about to start stenciling that it's gonna make a mess of the paper. But it's okay. If it makes a mess, we're covering it up anyway with things, right? We are covering it up anyway. And some of the previous colors are still in this sponge. That is a-okay too, okay? This is not a fine work of art. This is a fine work of mess. Because that's what makes me happy. Making messes makes me happy. Yes. Love it. I can't believe I had enough paint on that sponge for that. I really can't believe I did. Because I had no paint left in my little tray here. I didn't even need my brush. Woohoo! And if I rinse this sponge and it doesn't come clean, that's fine because it was already kind of cruddy. Okay, I kind of like this. I'm kind of feeling this. So, somebody is going to hand a glass of lemonade. I make a lot of homemade lemonade. So I made a pitcher the other night, and this is the longest it's lasted. It has lasted 2 days without it being completely drunken up. Usually it lasts about 24 hours and it's gone. But you know what? We've been busy too. The kids, you know, they've got school and we've had a lot of running around to do, and so yeah. But we drink a lot of homemade lemonade. I just love lemonade. Once I learned how easy lemonade was, because I always thought lemonade was like homemade orange juice, where you need like 50 lemons to have a glass. I didn't realize that lemonade was a much different ball game in the way of preparation. So, because I mean, I've made fresh squeezed orange juice before too. What am I thinking? These glue sticks do not work well on paint. We're gonna have to use the wet glue for this, I think. Yeah, we're gonna have to wet glue it. So lemonade is a much simpler process than fresh squeezed orange juice. I bought a juicer, not one of the fancy machines, like a hand juicer, and I was making homemade orange juice, and it cost me a fortune to do. Not only that, and I might have mentioned this here before, something has drastically changed with oranges over the years. And I don't think it's my sense of taste, because I still like oranges, but the flavor of oranges has changed completely compared to what it was 25, 30 years ago. I'm convinced of it. They have hardly any flavor, in my opinion. You know, hardly any flavor at all compared to, you know, the 90s. I mean, I used to eat oranges all the time, and I loved it, you know. But something has changed. Something has definitely changed with the flavor of oranges. And then, you know, they have these new little things, these mandarins, where they used to be clementines. Now, for some reason, it's mandarins. And they go bad so fast. Like, I'm used to having an orange out on my counter, you know, for a week, and it stays good. These mandarins, it's like a few days. They're no good. You know, if you leave them out. You put them in the fridge, you get a week and a half, maybe. But I used to be able to leave an orange out for days, and it was fine. So I really don't know. I really don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. But that's my complaint about oranges today. I wasn't going to work in this. Well, I take that back. I was thinking about it earlier. I said, what can I do in my summer journal for a last, what can I do in my summer journal? Because I've only done one thing in it, And I was like, well, you know what? It's not really summer. It's not really warm enough anymore. So we're going to just forget about it, And then I was going through my images for another thing that I'm working on. And all of these pictures, all of these party pictures come up, like, lemonade and fancy drinks and yard games. I don't have any grill stuff, though. Maybe I should have grabbed some burgers, but that's okay. Because I had plenty of burgers in that pile, too. I don't know why. Plenty of burgers. But I'm like, this will work out fine. You got like these squirt guns. You got this fancy drink bucket. Your fancy drink bucket that isn't going to keep anything cold. That ice is going to melt in that thing in like 45 seconds. But hey, it looks good, right? It looks good. I don't like that. I don't like things that look good but are not practical. Except for high heels. I wish I could wear heels still. But I cannot do that. Not with my foot. I cannot do that. Put a s'more here to cover up those words. So yeah, that's the only problem with the Elmer's glue wall, is that it doesn't stick to paint. You got to give it a couple of good coats, and I'm not in the mood to give it a couple of good coats. Not when I'm gluing this much over paint. When you're just gluing a few things, that's one thing, but not this many things. I'd be, going over everything 15 times. But it does stick. It will stick. It just sometimes takes a couple coats to get it to that point. I'm all painty fingers. I guess I could wipe my hands. I have a baby wipe here to wipe my hands from earlier's painty finger party. So a young boy here, about an hour and a half from here, with autism, nonverbal, went missing on Sunday. And they didn't put out an Amber Alert because it wasn't an abduction. He wandered off from a relative's place, and they just found him dead today in a pond. So that was pretty sad. I didn't have high hopes. When they didn't find him by, Monday morning, Sunday night got cold, and once they didn't find him, it was I didn't have high hopes that he was going to survive. I just hope it wasn't any foul play. I hope nobody did this to him. They said it's an ongoing investigation, so I'm assuming they're looking into every avenue. I hope not. Like, I really, my heart can't handle it. My heart can't handle this. Got our fancy little fan in case you get hot. Not today. No, it's not windy, but the breeze out there is so nice. It is so nice. We'll put it up here. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, I guess so. You can. I guess so. We're not going to put our pickles on this page. We do have some dip. This little kid that I follow, she's Asian, I think, and she eats anything. She eats like all kinds of stuff. She eats sushi. She's like, now she's probably grown, but she was really little at the time. And, she would ask her mom, dip, to dip her things. Soy sauce or whatever. It was so funny. She ate everything, though. That kid ate everything. I was blown away. We're going to put our squirt guns on here. Squirt gun. Pew, pew. Man, we had some really cool squirt guns in our life. Had a lot of squirt guns. This little candle thing, I guess, or whatever, because the other looks like a salt and pepper shaker, maybe. 1, 2, some mixing bowls. Mixing bowls. Like, I haven't had the heat or air conditioning on in my building now for days. And every time I'm out here, my door is just wide open. So my cats come. You get an occasional little flying bug, but the bugs aren't really hanging out much because it's not that warm out. So some snow cones. What, Bill? What?
I dropped scheduling Dad's appointment.
Vera just had to come in to say, good job scheduling Dad's appointment. I was like, I didn't schedule it. She's like, oh, never mind. I didn't. It was something that was already scheduled. It's, you know, I'm assuming she just got the reminder call. She just heard the reminder, you know. This is a hand with a stick, and I don't think that, I don't have a marshmallow to put on the stick. So we are going to put this flamingo guy, though. The only problem with the Aleenes is that I have these delicate little tiny spots, and the Aleenes is hard to get into those little delicate tiny spots. Flamingo. I don't know if that's a kite or a float or what, but it's something. It's something flamingo-y. That doesn't need to go. These fancy drinks. These fancy drinks. Fancy. Nope, no room. Refreshing. Refreshing. Strawberry shaped like a heart. Yes, sir. Yes, please. I don't think I need the turkey. I will take the regular strawberry, though. Like, I've got so many things, like fussy cuts that I didn't even know I had. They're just thrown in baskets, just wherever, you know. They're strawberry lemonade now. So yeah, I just have things just thrown any which place. This is some marshmallows. 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 I don't want this host to cook out there. Put something over that. Oh, another squirt gun. Yard Jenga. So, I mean, I guess it's not a cookout because I don't have any burgers and dogs. Like I said, I could hunt some down, but I'm not going through all that stuff again. I'm not digging through things again. I'll put this squirt gun somewhere. Man, I'm getting some gluey fingers. So I'm going to end up ruining an image because it's going to stick. I don't know if I want to put anything else. I don't know if I want to put a, I don't know if I want to put these bottles on there. I guess for those, I'll do that. We'll put a couple of them on there. And, I mean, we might still work on this through the winter, too. I mean, what do you think? You know, in case we get so sick of the cold and you're just like, oh, I just want summer. Maybe we'll do some spring, summer things. Some flowers and some color. Instead of just dreary, cold crap. you know. I mean, I could do that with all of them. I could work on my fall journal, my Halloween journal all year round. But I just don't. So, I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Let's write something. I'm not going to use that. I have a Sharpie over here, though. That's not in very good shape. Last summer. Hurrah. 9/9/25. There we go. Last summer, hurrah. I hope you all had fun, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.